Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Lucy Aria Rose, and their tagline is, "I'm keeping the garlic." The original OP is Afraid Mammoth 5574, posted to r/Am I the Asshole, April 18th, 2025. Am I the asshole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? So, just for the heck of it, I threw this in to check my records, and we've actually covered this one in the past. Granted, it seems since then the updates have gotten very out of hand. I'm still going to read the full thing, as it has been 2 months since we previously covered this one. Throwaway. Shortened for character count. For context, I've been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28, stepkid number 1, Ben, 26, stepkid number 2, Charles, 20, David, 17, and Ellie, 13. Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fiancée Alice, 27. We've all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man, the other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Last weekend, we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping, and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress, and me, a stepmom of the groom, a dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear? A suit?" Alice responded with, "My name isn't going. You know we are keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." What? Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi, since they've been engaged. This has never been brought up. Pretty quickly things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. Why? Adam said it's because I'm not his mom. Charles, David, and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited, that it was cruel to leave me out given I've been his parent for a majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute just fucking shocked. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, "Well?" My husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. Here's where I might be the asshole. I just laughed. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left, and then promptly bawled my eyes out. Anyways, Charles, David, and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try to smooth things over. He was still adamant I'm not invited and it's their wedding. He also requested I apologize for laughing at him. My husband told him tough shit. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they cannot control who will actually go. He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I'm getting texts now asking what the fuck I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. Am I the asshole? Okay, so real quick, from what I remember, I had theorized based upon a few of the comments that the bio mother was the reason why this was happening, that there was some kind of feud going on, and came to the conclusion that either Alice or Adam were being negatively influenced by the biological mother to uninvite OP despite the fact that the biological mom's husband, aka Adam's stepfather, was invited to the wedding. That was my theory, that this was some kind of jealous, vindictive ploy by the biological mother. And I get my answer, because this is a long update string. So let's go. Some of OP's comments. Commenter, I feel like there's a lot missing here. You've been married to his dad since he was 8. That was years of elementary, middle, high school, college. 20 years. Is his mother living? Did his fiancé influence him? Just seems odd to not invite his dad's wife of 20 years and call her not family. I don't think you're the asshole, but I just want to know more about the past 20 years. OP responds, I'm sorry. I had to cut out a lot for the character count to post. When Adam called, my husband did ask him if I had done anything. If it was related to Biomom, she has never gotten along with us. If I had overstepped in any way. Adam says no. It's just they want family only. Stepdad is invited as far as we know. I was a stay-at-home mom for most of my stepkid's childhood, and we had 50-50. My husband has always worked a lot, but has been as involved as possible. The house and child rearing mostly fell to me, though. I love our kids to pieces. I thought we had made it clear from the beginning that I was/am another parent that loves them, not a replacement mom. We've never had any issues, and I thought up until now that we were particularly close. Our communication has slowed since he met Alice, but he was calling me about once or twice a week prior to this. Alice and I have gone shopping on occasion, gotten lunch. I even went with her to the florist for the wedding because her mom wasn't available, and Adam got called into work. There has to be something/someone causing an issue, and my husband and I are baffled. Commenter, is his mom invited? OP responds, yes, as far as we've heard, stepdad is also invited. We, my husband and I, have never gotten along with mom, but still play nice as we still have 50-50 of younger stepson, Ben. Adam and his mom had a falling out a few years ago as she was starting to treat him the way she's always treated husband and I. That is, poorly. I don't know how to nicely explain other than she's a narcissist. Adam hasn't wanted to talk about it much and we won't push it. I know they talk and visit still, but how close they are, I have no idea. Custody of Ben at 26. Yes, he's disabled. He can choose where he's staying as he likes, but mostly sticks to a 50-50 schedule still, unless there is a family event or vacation. He's pretty independent, but not able to live on his own. Guardianship is probably a better word for what we have now instead of custody. Commenter. Absolutely not the asshole. Assuming you and Adam have gotten along fine until now, it's absolutely wild that they wouldn't invite you. Only family and a few close friends? When a step-parent literally counts as family, and the nerve to accuse you of ruining his wedding. I don't blame you for laughing. OP responds, it's probably also relevant, but my husband's parents are long since deceased. My parents, dad, stepmom, and mom, have been very involved with all the kids since they were little. They are also not going, since if I'm not family, they aren't either. My brother and sister-in-law, their daughter, my cousin, they call him uncle, and several of my other family members that have been around since stepkids were little have also dropped. They are up to like 20 people. They have rescinded their yes RSVPs for a wedding of maybe 60 people. Commenter. Wait, hold up. Your family was invited but not you? Then what the hell did Adam expect when it came out you're not invited? OP responds, that's my family's take. Why are they invited but I'm not? They aren't related to my stepkids by blood either, but are apparently family? To be fair, my family is larger than my husband's, stepdad's, and bio moms. My stepkids were the first grandkids on my side, they were not with bio mom and dad's families, and were absolutely spoiled rotten growing up. Charles is now supposed to meet Adam for coffee over the weekend. I've warned him that truly, I don't think it's coming from Adam, and to try to calm about it. Commenter, info. What is the nature of your relationship with Adam? Is his mother in the picture? Could his fiancé be in his ear? OP responds, I thought we were particularly close. Besides the normal teenager, I don't have to listen to you bullshit phase, we have never fought. We've always had him and Ben 50-50. As a teen and on, he's butted heads with his mother. There have been times over the years where Adam had come to my husband and I and asked questions from things his mom has said, but we've always been forthcoming with info. Example of that is that his mom called me a homewrecker. This upset Adam. Adam came pissed at us, explained that no, bio mom and dad were long since broken up and mom even had a fiancé who is not current stepdad when I met dad. Pulled records. Adam upset with mom. Blew over and on to the next thing. We still deal with bio mom though, and I do have a hard time believing she'd pull something at this point. Alice and I aren't super close, but I thought had a good relationship. I have always tried to include her. Sometimes she takes up my offer, and sometimes she doesn't. I know she sees bio mom quite a bit, and that side of Adam's family too. She was raised by her grandparents and does not talk about bio parents often. Commenter. How did Ben react to this? At this point, I probably would not go to the wedding and would block his and his future wife. They would have to grovel in order to go. They made it clear they don't see you as family, so you don't need to do anything for them going forward. OP responds, Ben was very upset and confused. He's autistic, so what exactly the argument about doesn't quite click. But he's mostly upset Adam says I'm not their parent and his siblings are all fighting. We've sat him down since and explained that I love him dearly and will never go anywhere. All of us love Adam and are just hurt, and that he himself can choose to go to the wedding or not. He doesn't have to choose sides, and we will still love him if he goes. Honestly, he probably will. He loves cake and dancing, lol. He seems to be doing just fine since. He hasn't asked about Adam, but we'll go to his mom's tomorrow and probably see him there. More info on everyone's relationships. It was hard to include every bit of context in the post because of the character limit, but I quit my job when Charles was 6 months old. Adam would have been 8, almost 9. No affair. I met my husband when he'd been divorced for over a year. Biomom was engaged to someone else. If you ask their biomom, she'll say I've always overstepped. If you ask her how, she'll give examples like I went to school events. So did stepdad. I helped with homework. I spent too much time with them. She would thank me for loving her kids so much, and then turn around and berate my husband for me loving kids that aren't hers too much. Another example is that in the beginning, she wanted to communicate with me directly more. She said she loved the communication and that I was easier to deal with than my husband. Next argument with my husband, she brought up that I was weird and too involved, and she shouldn't have to talk to me whatsoever. I haven't talked to her since. Periodically, she has brought up that I was easier to talk to, and she doesn't understand why communication just has to go through my husband. After several years of trying to appease her, we quit to focus on keeping our family happy and supported. It's been 23 years now of dealing with her. I've been to therapy multiple times to resolve whatever issues she says I have. It did help with strategies to deal with her. Truly, it's just that she has mental issues. Their dad did work a lot. He has always been on nights. It's changed slightly over the years, but we had stepkids Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every other Monday. His days off have always fell over those days so he can spend the max amount of time with them. But usually, he worked 1 to 2 of those nights. Very rarely would he work overtime on days we had my stepkids, usually on days we didn't. We still currently try to do dates on days when Ben is not with us. I hope that makes sense and clears up some questions for you. Commenter: are Alice's parents still together? Has she assumed you're some kind of evil stepmother? Does she have a bad relationship with her stepmom and doesn't want to invite her? OP: her mom and dad are her grandparents. She hasn't talked about it much with me specifically, but her bio mom is deceased from drugs, and her bio father is in prison. She's talked about it some with my husband, who was adopted by his aunt and uncle. Father not in the picture, and mother died from cancer when he was 4. My stepmom has also talked with her at one point because she too was adopted by her grandparents for similar reasons. It just adds to our confusion. We have such a mix of types of family regardless of blood that my mother-in-law has been laying it on thick that I need to be smoothing things over because family is family. And I'm the parent, so it's my responsibility to fix it. But fuck, I'm not ready to talk to Adam. Edit: sorry, my mother. LOL. My mother-in-law is deceased. One more thought from OP in response to a longer comment. Thank you for your thoughtful comment. Adam will always be my first son, whether he thinks of me as his mom or not. I thought we had been pretty clear throughout the years that I love him, regardless of what he thinks of me, and that my involvement extends to whatever he wants of me, and some fair non-negotiables. Mostly safety things, chores his dad agreed on when I asked, that kind of thing. I couldn't get in with my therapist this week, but I do have an appointment next week, and we will try to formulate a well-thought-out response back. I am certainly not a perfect person or parent, but I won't intentionally sabotage him further. I do love a good revenge story, but that's not it when it comes to my kids. I've talked to the youngest 3, and they have reassured me that it's their choice whether or not they go, and I won't push them on it. I have been reminding them that he's still their brother, and it doesn't sound like him. Mostly for Charles, he is very outspoken and protective. Charles is supposed to meet him this weekend, and I'm hoping we'll get some clearer answers from that. Update post, April 23rd, 2025, 5 days later. Hi Reddit friends, my update was taken down by My the Asshole for not having a good enough conclusion, but I do have an update. I had to condense it a lot for My the Asshole, but I'm going to just copy and paste it here. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post. Most of you are kind and offered good advice. I appreciate it. Before I give an update, I just wanted to answer a few frequently asked questions. 1. I am not an affair partner. My husband did not cheat on his ex-wife with me. We met about a year after they divorced. She was already engaged, not to current stepdad. Not that that really matters. 2. Ben was at the dinner. He is autistic. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He doesn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he was mostly upset at Adam for saying I'm not their parent, and then at all the siblings for fighting with each other. Anyways, the update. The short is, if you guessed it was related to Biomom, you were correct. I didn't want this to be the case. Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend. Fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that him and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice. I'm not sure what exactly was said, but it prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I've met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. Monday, we dropped Ben off to Biomom's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun. A few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone as Ben mentioned the fight. My husband answered one call in which she was screaming and promptly hung up. He texted her that the siblings argued, everything is fine, and that if Ben has any further questions, we would talk about when he's back with us. For some of the things she texted, we knew she was the root of all of this. Monday, Adam also met up with Charles, and he did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over after, and we said yes. I'm not gonna lie, Adam looked like a mess. He immediately began crying and apologizing. The short and sweet is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Biomom. Their wedding isn't 60 people. It's blown up to about double that, and they've been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip that Biomom jumped to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small requests to big requests. I'm not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended with Biomom requesting I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me than risk World War III with his mom. Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been dealing with the wedding/budget, and even less so at Biomom's antics. They're trying to figure out how to start covering the payments Biomom has made. We've decided to help some with this. Adam also asked if we could meet again in a few days with Alice, and we've said yes. There is still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to mended. I'm still hurt, but mostly, I'm angry on behalf of my oldest son. Update post, June 12th, 2025. A month and a half later. Title, Final Update. Am I the asshole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? It's been a while, but I have an update. I did post a prior update already, but it was taken down for not a clear enough resolution. Am I the asshole still won't allow my updates? Something about this post still being a midway point, in that posting an update on my own profile counts as my Am I the asshole update. I don't know. So here's the longer, unfiltered version of that update. To catch everyone up real quick, Adam came over to have a convo with us after talking to Charles. He's been reconnecting with his mother over the last year, and she's been the real root of everything. It started with the small request as they got closer. Then she's paying for things at the wedding and escalating to me being uninvited. About a week after that, Adam and Alice came over for another convo. Husband and I read through all of your comments and already had a game plan. We explained that while we love them to bits and forgive them, this is still a big fuck up, and they need to hold themselves accountable for 1, the mess with Biomom, and 2, how they treated me. It wasn't just about the dinner. It was also about the months they allowed ex-wife to shit-talk me to them. We would not be bailing them out financially for this. I haven't pried into too many details, but Adam had a talk with his mom. She was calm and agreed to everything he said. Suspicious. Mostly that they will not exclude me from future events or tolerate any unkind words about me moving forward. Him and Alice canceled their wedding. They got back a good portion of their money, mostly to pay back Biomom. When he tried to drop off a check to her, she absolutely lost it. Adam hasn't wanted to talk much about the things that were said, but he's told us they are currently no contact. I won't say the exact date, but Adam and Alice asked us all to meet for dinner. We got there, and Alice's parents/siblings were there too. It wasn't just dinner. They eloped. We got to go to the courthouse with them and then celebrate with them after. They seemed so happy. 3 days later, Hubs was at work and I was coming home from errands when I got a very panicked call from Ellie. Ex-wife was outside, pounding on our door and screaming her head off. I gave Ellie instructions and then called 911. I then called my husband. When I got there, ex-wife was already detained. She hadn't broke in, but had damaged the outside of the door and the siding surrounding it. And she was still screaming. The stuff she was saying was absolutely vile, and most of the reason I haven't wanted to update. It was everything from that she hates me and it's my fault Adam won't talk to her, to stealing my kids from me won't replace the ones you lost. After that comment, I tuned out the rest until she was placed in the back of a cop car. It's important context, but we've had several miscarriages. Ooh. One of which I knew ex-wife knew about. What I really think she was getting at is the baby we had in between David and Ellie, who was full term and still born. I still don't understand how anyone could say something so awful and carry so much hate. Putting it out there is hard, and honestly, I don't have much comment on it, other than I'm lucky to have the husband I do. Some of the charges we declined to pursue. Some, the police department will be pursuing regardless, if we ask them to or not. She's already bailed out, but our restraining order has been granted pending a court date with the judge. From the bits and pieces we hear, ex-wife's family has put her on lockdown. Her brother works for the department that arrested her, so this has been quite the talk of the town. We've not heard from her since, and her mother has told my husband we absolutely won't be hearing from her or having any other issues. We have been doing exchanges for Ben with stepdad. Well, that was a lot. More than I thought I was getting into. I was excited to see an update to a post that I remembered from a few months ago and did not expect there to be 20 minutes worth of updates / context comments. I'm not surprised my initial intuition that the bio mom had something to do with this is, well, correct. I am unbelievably frustrated and pissed off by the comments that were made towards OP by the biological mother in regards to the prior miscarriages for obvious fucking reasons. And I am ecstatic that justice was provided in a swift and timely manner. While the choice is still on Adam, it is pretty revolting that the biological mother took full advantage of her son's desperation to be able to give his fiancée the wedding that they both desired and used that to turn them against the stepmother. Gross. I'm happy that Adam is putting things back together and doing what he can to repair things, but it's also really unfortunately fucking telling that Adam realized I can bridge the gap with my stepmother and make things okay, but dealing with my mother, that would start World War III within interpersonal relationships and is not worth it. If you ever find yourself in a position where hurting someone you care about is easier than telling someone you dislike no, then you gotta do some reevaluating and really look at what's actually going on, because that is not a good position to be in and is definitely signs of worse things going on that you're potentially ignoring. I'm glad that Adam and Alice got eloped, and I'm happy that things have gone, well, so far anyways, in a better direction. Hopefully Biomom stays the hell out of it. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is u/throwaway 3733339, posted to r/trueoffmychest December 7th, 2022. My girlfriend just gave birth to our first child. I know I'm not the biological father, and I revealed I knew as soon as she gave birth. My girlfriend just gave birth to our first child. I know I'm not the biological father, and I revealed I knew as soon as she gave birth. I'll try to keep this short because I'm planning to go to a bar soon. I found out when she was about 6 months along. The guy, Brian, approached me at my work. "Are you Sarah's boyfriend?" I said yeah, and asked what he wanted. He said he was sorry that he slept with her and swore he didn't know that she was with someone. I don't believe that. He then pulled out his phone to show the text between them. They had been sleeping together or linking up for at least a year. Then she found out she was pregnant and they came to an agreement to just pretend the baby was mine. In return, she wouldn't lose her perfect life and he wouldn't be responsible for a baby. I knew it was weird. We had been having problems trying for a baby and all of a sudden, she got pregnant so easily. But he had explained that he had been thinking about it and he recently became a Christian. He said that he couldn't live his life knowing that I was living a lie while his child didn't know their real father. So yeah, I told him I'd keep in touch and to not say that he had said anything just yet. I've had a lot of time to think, but ultimately I decided to wait until she gave birth. to hurt her in her most vulnerable moment. I'll spare the details, but she went into labor, baby was born, and was taken to the NICU to be monitored for a bit. What should have been a beautiful moment of me holding my baby was the most heartbreaking time of my life. Just knowing that he was not mine hurt me. When she was sewn up and comfortable, I started packing my stuff to leave. She asked where I was going, and I just told her, I know I'm not the baby's father. You can act all shocked, but I know. Just ask Brian to come. I'm positive he'll sign the birth certificate. Then I left. She's been calling my phone over and over, even sending text as I type this, and has even gotten her sister to call me a few times. It was hard pretending these last few months, but I think I'm satisfied. I feel really, really heartbroken though. I was planning to propose to her on the day our baby was born. I was gonna make her the happiest woman ever. Oh well, I'm going to go get shit-faced now. Small update, head hurts, but I'm home safe. I wasn't really expecting this to gain as much traction as it did, but I'll clear up a few things. Brian is going to be in the baby's life if it's his. I don't care what anyone says, I'm sure the kid isn't mine. I'll go get tested, but me and Brian have been in contact since last night, and there isn't any doubt in my mind. For those of you calling me a psychopath or whatever, I don't really care. You will all forget about this post in a day anyway, while I'll have to live with this shit for the rest of my life. What I did wasn't amazing, but I don't care. All I ever did was treat her amazing, and this is how she pays me back. If you think this is fake, go read something else. Doesn't matter to me. Relevant comments. How did she react when OP left and told her he knew? Her eyes got really wide and she started to say, wait! But I was already closing the door when she started talking to me. In the texts and voicemails she's left me, she explains that Brian is lying, and if I just pick up the phone, she'll explain. I mean, I have a copy of their text messages, and a sex tape as further proof. So I'm very tempted to send them to her, but I really don't want to give her any attention right now. When asked who else was in the room and is this fake, nurses were in the room. I didn't give a shit if they heard. This was after they took the baby to the NICU, and the only reason he even went was because my ex had a pretty bad fever before she gave birth, so they were waiting to monitor him to make sure he didn't also develop a fever. She has her own insurance. Obviously, if she had complications, I wouldn't have done it right then, but she didn't. Baby is fine, she's fine, so I did break the news and left. I don't understand why people who say shit is fake stick around to read and comment. Move on with your life then. So, I'm popping in here because I got a few things I just want to add that's really bugging me. Did OP just admit that Brian had sent him revenge porn, and he sees no problem with that? Cheating or not, that is a boundary that is unacceptable to cross. And now I'm going to admit that I'm beginning to second guess a lot of the details that OP listed. Update, December 27th, 2022, 3 weeks later. Hi everyone, I just wanted to start by saying I would have updated sooner, but it takes a bit to get test results back. I've also been working on myself in the time being. Thanks for all the support. I'll cut to the chase. I'm not the father, but I already knew that already deep down. Brian and the baby are a match, so that pretty much answers that question. He's very excited to be a dad, even despite the circumstances. We've kept in touch this whole time, and he's actually a really great guy. Goes to church now, volunteers at shelters, etc. I'm not sure if we'll continue to stay in touch after this, but I wouldn't mind getting a drink with him every once in a while. I hope the kid does great in life. He should with Brian as his dad. Okay, absolutely insane Oz, nutcase tinfoil hat theory time. What if this entire post is written by Brian to make himself feel better after sleeping with some guy's girlfriend? I don't know, but this post is giving me not good vibes for some reason. I think it might just be because of the revenge thing, but it's hard to say. As for Sarah, around the time I posted, she had asked Brian to be with her officially, since there was nothing to hide. As far as I know, he has not taken her up on that offer and just wants to co-parent for the sake of being in his kid's life. I think that's very smart of him, honestly. Perhaps the tinfoil hat was the friends we made along the way. Me and her have talked as well. We talked about where it all went wrong. She felt as though I wasn't there for her fully, and just felt unfulfilled, which I understand. I wasn't always the best guy, but I treated her the best I could. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. She started crying, and I did give her a hug, but I made sure she knew it wasn't because I cared about her. She's offered for me to stay friends and for me to visit if I want, but I declined. I'm not really interested in keeping up with her and her kid, but I did give her the stuffed animal I was planning to give our kid someday as a present. She's been staying with her mom and has fully moved out her stuff. She asked me to keep her number, but I blocked her the same day she finished moving out. So it's just me now. I'm not gonna lie, my heart has been super heavy, but I think I'll be okay. There's a cute girl at my work and we've been talking. She's a single mom and has been awesome so far. I explained that I wanted to go slow because of my recent breakup and she understands. We've hooked up once or twice, nothing serious yet. I just want to be by myself for now, but I'll likely give her a shot when I'm ready. That's it for now. I'm depressed, but I'm working out now at least. I never want to talk to Sarah and will likely never see her again. It sucks because she was such a big part of my life, but that's gone now. Thanks for all the support. I'll answer questions if you guys have any more. And it just wanted to mention that I still don't feel bad about what I did. I can tell she's still hurting, but I definitely think it's deserved still. Update. I'm the guy who waited until his partner gave birth before telling her I knew the baby wasn't mine. Here's how my life is going. August 8th, 2023. I keep getting DMs asking me to update, so here's one. Been roughly 8 months. Check profile for original story. No, I don't talk to Sarah. Screw Sarah. Haven't seen her. Last I heard, she moved to 3 hours away with her mom to be closer to some family. I kept seeing her around town a lot, so I'm beyond grateful she's gone. She would attempt to have conversations with me sometimes in the first month after she gave birth, but that soon stopped. As for Brian, we text occasionally, and we did go out for that beer. He overall seems happy to be a father, but we don't talk about Sarah. I don't keep up much with him anyways. We're both hardworking men with jobs, kids, and lives. I don't think they're together at all, but who knows? Speaking of kids, the woman who was a single mom that I started seeing, we're still together. Her kid is awesome, and I love being her stepdad, to be honest. So a big middle finger to those who told me to stop talking to her, or that it wasn't gonna work. It may seem like we move fast, but at this point, I don't care. I've never loved anyone more. We communicate properly, hardly fight, just so much fun. I initially was gonna cut all contact with her after falling off into a bad drinking habit, but she really kept me grounded. I didn't meet my stepdaughter for a while, but when I did, I knew I couldn't leave. Being a part of this little family has healed me in ways I literally can't fathom. And before anyone says I just used them to deal with the trauma of not having my own kid, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm not in therapy, I got my shit together, and most days I don't even think about my ex. Hell, I even forgot about this damn account. Words cannot describe how much my life has picked up. Thank you, Reddit strangers, for being there in the darkest time of my life. Honestly, it helped. Hoping to propose to my girlfriend sometime in the future. That's it. Bye. I'm not gonna lie, the vibes are certainly off. And just real quick, so everyone knows, I think everyone in this story is an asshole in some way. Except for the single mom that OP started dating. That would be kind of fucked up. But in all honesty, my view of this might be partially tainted here because of the fact that Brian was sending OP revenge. And I do understand that, those images were being used to prove the connection between Brian and OP's girlfriend. But it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth and I can't fully explain. I also hope that OP did take his time because 8 months and trying to jump right back into marriage after having a pretty messy breakup, that is not safe, my dude, and that is dangerous. And OP needs to be careful with that. I have seen some comments kind of poking fun at OP with the fact of like, oh, so you leave your girlfriend over a child that isn't yours, but then you jump into a relationship with your new girlfriend with a child that isn't yours. But the reason why that's different is because one is a choice to raise the child that isn't yours, and the other one is your now ex-girlfriend betrayed your trust and violated the sanctity of the relationship and gave you a child that wasn't yours. So there is a bit of a difference there, so I don't think that comparison's quite apt, but I'm still getting some weird red flags that I can't quite pinpoint from OP's behavior, but I'm just going to leave this as the fact of, I think everyone here fucked up in one way or another, some most certainly worse than others, but no one here is without blame. From Brian sharing explicit images of OP's girlfriend, to OP not seeing an issue with that, and of course then turning around, leading his girlfriend on for 3 months to deliver the news in the most devastating way possible, and then of course to the girlfriend, who of course cheated on her boyfriend. With that, what are the vibes that you guys get? I'd be I'm actually really curious to kind of hear what everyone's general opinions are on this one, because I know that my opinion on this one is definitely tainted, and it's left a bad taste in my mouth, so I'm trying to avoid just digging into it in case that my initial bias is invalid or misplaced. So let me know where you stand. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.